You need to see this. If you're holding altcoins and you're panicked and worried about whether or not they're ever going to be able to perform strongly against Bitcoin and Ethereum, whether or not this path to altcoin season is even real, you're in the right place. I've been back through all the 2017 bull market data and 2021 to identify that this bull market is, guess what, playing out exactly the same. And that means what happens next will be incredibly exciting for most of us holding altcoins. So in this video, I'm going to show you all of the proof and all of the very simple to follow data that is going to give you the confidence to continue to hold altcoins into the bull market that will rage ahead. Do me a favor, hit the like button. Let's find out what's going on. Now guys, before we dive across and take a look at all of those charts, as well as the path to altcoin season and what that really even means, just a quick disclaimer. Nothing I say in this video is financial advice. Everything I say is for entertainment purposes only. If you wish to invest in crypto, you should understand that it's risky and you can lose money. So don't use money that you can't afford to lose, and always do your own research before investing in anything. And by the way, down below are some affiliate links for different exchanges and things that I personally use. If you wish to use those, I will make a small commission, but at no expense to you. Now that you all know this, let's get into today's video. Now, before we dive into the path to altcoin season and why we are in exactly the same position pretty much that we saw back in 2021 and 2017, before everything started to blow up, let's have a look at Bitcoin and understand what's been going on. Bitcoin, as you can see, has dipped down to a whopping $112,000. And it's caused a bit of a panic, not because Bitcoin's dipping, but because most people are holding altcoins. And the altcoins, again, have taken a bit of a hit against the wider crypto market. Many altcoins have kind of pulled back to lows. Some altcoins kind of pull back to higher. Now, does Bitcoin come down much lower in the next day or two? And will our altcoins come down that much lower either? Well, to be honest, the market is pretty fragile right now. It's pretty scared and doesn't tend to lean towards saying that we're going to see major sell-offs next. However, in the past, every single time we've seen a phase before a major leg up, we have sort of dipped down below to take out some lows. So there is a chance, of course, that Bitcoin can come down below around the $106,000 level. But pretty much like we've seen every single time that this has happened before, we are likely to then see a strong continuation towards the upside. So it shouldn't really be a cause for any concern. It shouldn't be a cause for any concern because I'm about to show you what happens after this uncertainty period finishes. And this is the key. Now, I know you've seen this before, you've heard it time and time again, but it's yet to play out. Or is it? Because actually, I think this is playing out perfectly. And if you go back to 2021 and 2017, I saw something very similar as to what is really hidden in this particular document. You see, this dictates that Bitcoin will be phase one of the bull market. Let's go back and check out Bitcoin. You can see that Bitcoin's been in a bull market since pretty much November of 2022. When FTX collapsed, it went down to around $15,800. It now finds itself nearly $100,000 higher than that. Fair enough. Phase one, you would say, is probably complete, right? Then what? Phase two, Ethereum outperforms Bitcoin. Interesting. Let's go and have a look at what Ethereum has been doing since bear market lows. Under $900 after FTX collapsed. Now it finds itself around $4,000. It actually found itself all the way up to an all-time high of $4,900. Pretty good. Phase three, the large caps. And this is where it gets a bit confusing. And this is why I had to go back to 2021 and 2017 to start to really understand what this kind of large caps thing indicates. Now, we've seen certain large caps like Solana having incredible bull run. Again, Solana started its bull market back in December of 2022. It went down to around $8.80 and then now sits around $203. There's a pretty healthy run towards the upside, wouldn't you say? It even, at one point, went up to nearly $300, which is a massive performance for a large cap altcoin. And some other large caps have had some pretty strong performances as well. Cardano went all the way down to around 24 cents. It then rocked up to around $1.3, nearly a 5x in fairly early stages of bull markets. XRP has obviously had an incredible run as well. And this is the difference, because there are other large caps that have just been a bit flat, that haven't really performed that strongly, okay? Let's say WorldCoin, for example, that had a good run back in December, but is still looking a little bit flat down here. Coins like Aptos have never really got going. Sui has been kind of doing all right, but still looks a little bit flat at the moment. And here's where this is misleading, because large caps should probably be translated to last cycle's large caps. If you start to understand that the last cycle large caps are the ones that we should be following, then that gives you a pretty good clue about what's going to happen next. And if we go to this chart, it's going to break it all down for you and make it crystal clear where we're at right now. Bitcoin, in the last bull market, went up on the 8th of March, or the week commencing the 8th of March, to around $60,000. And yes, it did go a little tiny bit higher before coming back down, and then had this kind of next run that finished around November, the bull market top that everybody knows. But did you know, on the 8th of March 2021, Ethereum was only worth around $1,500. It then went up to around $4,200. If you go back to Solana, you could say the 8th of March, Solana was worth under $20. In the end of the bull market, Solana went to over $250. You will see something very key here, because actually, if I take away Solana and I replace it with Cardano, you can see that Cardano was actually running up quite strongly into this period of time, a larger cap that had been around in the 2017 bull market. And this is the key to what is going on here. Bitcoin, phase 1. Ethereum, phase 2, lags behind. Large caps from the last bull market started to have strong performance. Phase 3, okay? Solana was a new coin in the last bull market, however, and this is why it was underperforming massively up until around the same time. After that period of time, Solana then runs up, and then it pulls back around 75%. 75%. Many of you are like, I'm holding altcoins right now, and some of them are down 70, 80%. Solana pulled back 75%, and then it did an 80x. I want you to just think about that for a moment. Solana pulled back in its first bull market after coming in quite strongly and then having a bit of a meltdown. It went up 80x. Now, 80x is a bit of a rarity, you might think. But let's go and have a look at some other altcoins and see where they slot into this. Newer altcoins in the last bull market all looked pretty shaky around the 8th of March. Gala Games, what was it worth around this time? Around 2 cents. Bull market top, 83 cents, 40x. Okay, what about Render? Another new coin in the last bull market. It was around 40 cents. By the top of the bull market, it went up to $8. That's a 20x. During this period of time in the last bull market where Bitcoin, where it had pushed up into its all-time highs for the first time and sort of stalled around for a while, Ethereum was only halfway in to its bull run. It had only just kind of broken previous bull market highs from 2017, was coming back to retest those highs, which is very similar to what it is literally doing right now. It's just recently broken above previous bull market highs. It's now coming back just to retest those previous bull market highs. All looking pretty good to me. And while this was all happening, everybody was going, this bull market's not going to be like 2017. Altcoin season won't happen again. This is exactly the same. Yes, this is exactly the same. Now, what isn't exactly the same is this. This all happened in March 2021 of the post-election year, okay? Not because of the halving, it's all to do with the election, it's all to do with refinancing debts, okay? Has nothing to do with really the halving anymore. But at this time, interest rates were at 0. Global markets were in risk on. Right now, we are starting to ease interest rates. So yes, things have been a bit slow to get started. We had tariffs this year. We had World War III breakout for a day. We had lots of other things happen that got lots of fear and worry in the market. It's kind of driven things back, delayed things a little bit longer. But what's delayed everything the most is the fact that the Federal Reserve Bank, which is in the United States, which has the world's biggest GDP and also basically dictates what's going to happen with the dollar, which every single currency around the world is pegged to and has very big reaction to what happens in the dollar, has had incredibly high interest rates and also have been in quantitative tightening. And yet banks and things around the world have started to slowly ease as much as they can with interest rates that high in the US. And this has led to Bitcoin rallying strongly, Ethereum rallying strongly, and some of the altcoins starting to rally strongly. Okay, so I would argue that we are in a similar time right now. Phase 3, large caps, isn't every large cap should be pumping right now, but going back and seeing that large caps from the last bull market, like XRP, Ethereum sits at all-time highs. We're exactly where we need to be. So if you go back and you're saying, well, what about Render? What about these coins? Yeah, lots of coins I'm holding are underperforming. Should I continue to hold them? Well, here's the thing. If you go back and look at some of these coins, and yes, I am picking out and cherry picking some of the best performers in that last bull market, but if you've been subscribed to the House of Crypto and you've been starting to understand the fundamentals about why I invest into certain projects, I've been telling you about Aether for weeks and weeks and it's barely seen any dip. In fact, it's literally one of the only coins that's been up this week while the wider crypto market has been having a bit of a pullback. Then you will start to understand that I'm identifying a lot of these stronger coins, despite this sort of short-term price action, which might be good or bad, that we're in a very similar place. A lot of these newer coins will have very strong bull markets ahead. Around this time back in 2021, and I don't mean this time as in September the 25th, I mean this time as in after we'd seen Bitcoin run strongly, Ethereum was bouncing at its previous bull market all-time highs, and some of the large caps from the previous bull market have been having strong runs, then you'll understand where I'm coming from. And this is what I need to keep showing you. This is Mana Decentraland, one of the coins that everyone was talking about in the last bull market, okay? The last bull market where Bitcoin had already hit near enough its all-time high for the first time was around the 10th of March 2021. Mana Decentraland started to kind of have a bit of a leg up in and around this time. Yes, it sort of rallied towards kind of all-time high levels. But look at what followed. It then goes and pulls back a whopping 77%. It goes from 77% down. All of a sudden, it goes up 14x. And most of that move you can see happened in about 5 weeks. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, it goes up 722%. Gala Games, similar thing. It rallies up, and then after this, in 2 weeks alone, it goes up 9x. Okay, crazy moves. But during accumulation times for the wider altcoin market, Gala Games and everything else bled like crazy. Okay, Gala pumped up, had a great run, pulls back 82%. I was lying, I said 77% earlier. Pulls back 82%. From 82% down, it then goes up, what, like 100x. That's 100x. Ludicrous. Okay, absolutely ludicrous. Many of the coins that you're sitting on, you're holding right now and feeling a bit panicked and worried about, if they're holding their lows, like Aptos, for example, an incredibly strong project. If you look at the DeFi Llama data for this right now, some of the TVL, some of the trading volumes and stuff going on Aptos right now, things are looking pretty damn good. And it's just holding its lows. Many people are starting to doubt whether or not altcoins will ever have their time. They do have their time, but it takes a little bit of time for the markets to react to the rate cuts. We've already had one major rate cut. Guess what? We now have a 94 or 95% chance of the next rate cut coming in. This is going to be very bullish for crypto. It means more liquidity comes, but it takes a little bit of time for that liquidity to come into the market. And guess what? The institutions, the banks, which means they start to front run the wider crypto market. And this time is very different to what we've seen at earlier times of this year and past years. And here's why, something I've seen that many people may or not have been paying attention to. A lot of very big old VC projects backed by massive names like Dragonfly and Hashkey and A16Z and whoever else have had pretty shocking bull markets so far, yeah? Because there wasn't enough liquidity to support them. They pumped up initially and then they ran down hard. This is peak, now starting to look pretty good. A great project, definitely one worth looking into from these kind of lows. But now we're seeing a lot of these big major VC projects starting to launch, but soaking up the liquidity. There is big money moving into this market right under your nose. This is Aster. It launched just a couple of days ago. CZ's kind of backed this and it's obviously been pretty exciting, but ultimately it's not just being driven up by retail buying because CZ made a tweet. There is massive money flowing into projects like this that hasn't really been happening in kind of larger projects throughout the course of this bull market so far. And that's because we were further up this area in time. We are sort of playing in and around this area here, okay? ETH has been outperforming Bitcoin. Let's go have a look. ETH outperforming Bitcoin. It's been pretty much doing that since the 21st of April. You can see it's had a little bit of a breakdown here, but nothing unusual, okay? Nothing goes up in a straight line. We've seen this happen before. I would expect this to continue towards the upside at some point. Maybe it tips a little bit further down, maybe to around sort of 3.1%, 3.2%, and then sees continuation. And that all started from around the 21st of April. And then go and look. Solana, from around the 16th of June, starts to outperform Bitcoin as well. Interesting, right? We are starting to see progression down through this. It might be a little bit slower because many of us are holding altcoins that aren't going to see much excitement until maybe the phase 4 comes in. But I don't know about you. I want to be positioned and ready for whenever that starts. And that's why I'm happy to buy lows and sit through whatever happens during and around this time, because I don't know when this starts. But I do know it will start. And that's the key. I don't need to know when it's going to happen. I just need to know that it's going to happen, and I want to position myself correctly. Now, a lot of these projects that I've talked about, Gala Games, Mana Decentralized, I don't see these having any type of bull market again, really, like that they saw in the last bull market, because ultimately, a lot of these coins have kind of struggled to kind of maintain their teams behind the scenes. They're not really working on anything particularly cutting edge, and a lot of new kind of top quality projects have come in and replaced them. Okay, so these coins that have been around in the last bull markets that are sort of still struggling might not do that well in this bull market. When I talk about the last bull market, I mean the 2021 bull markets, okay? But overall, things are looking good. Another large cap coin, BNB, sits pretty high. It's been doing quite well. There are coins that are starting to wake up to this. It's just going to take a little bit more time for conditions to continue to ease, and then markets are going to see continued upside. Things are looking pretty good. Just remember this. If you are trying to time the absolute bottom, it's probably not worked for you yet. So I would avoid doing that. Personally, if you want to get into the markets, wait for days where there's panic and worry, kind of like there is today, and then go and find entries onto coins that people are not talking about, okay? Aster, everybody's been talking about it. Probably be a little bit cautious of it. I'm not saying it can't have a great bull market. I'm just saying be cautious of the coins that everyone is talking about on any given day. Go and look at the coins that have been holding strongly down at the bases right now and are ready to see those kind of next leg ups whenever crypto starts to get a bit more exciting again. Okay, it doesn't have to be exciting, right? This is not about having fun. We're here to try and make money. If we try and avoid getting excited when markets go up and try to avoid getting sad and angry when things go down, then times tend to work out much better for us. Remember, the Wall Street cheat sheet is your cheat sheet to understanding what is going on in the markets. Sentiment is your key. Go and read the comments under tweets. Go and read some of the comments under this video, although they're all pretty good because you guys have obviously been subscribing and you've obviously been starting to learn a few things about how these markets are really kind of working. Okay, I promise you in the next kind of few weeks and stuff ahead, you're going to be feeling very different to perhaps how you're feeling today. Now guys, if you wish to go and buy into different altcoins and you want to be able to access some of the smaller cap, mid cap altcoins that are just never going to be available on Binance, Coinbase, etc. until they've at least done a 10 or a 20x or more, you will have missed out on most of those gains. Then you need to be signing up for one of the exchanges linked down below. I use WEEX, I use Bitunix on a daily basis. I also use BloFin, also linked down below. All of these different exchanges come with a huge range of different altcoins, some of the lowest fees across crypto, and they are available no matter what country you're in, so you can access them easily. Like I am always traveling, so it makes it a lot easier to be able to access different exchanges without having to use VPNs and all those different things. Obviously, go and look into the different exchanges listed down below, go and check which one is right for you and do your own research before investing into any different crypto coins. And also, all of those exchanges below, of course, come with some of the biggest bonuses in the game. So if you want to be able to get some free money to be able to trade crypto with, then make sure you use my links to sign up. Guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video, found it useful. Hit the like button, keep calm, carry on, everything is going to be all right. Have a good day. Bye-bye.